For veterans, four different disability ratings, four completely different realities that nobody talks about. So let's face it, my disability, how I feel, is going to be completely different from your disability and how you feel. The percentage on your paperwork is just the beginning. This is what living on VA disability actually looks like at every single level. Let's start with when you're at that 30% rating, when the VA considers as mild, but here's what they don't tell you. The monthly payment is about $524 for a single veteran with no dependents. It's a catch 22. You're rated disabled but expected to work a full-time job. You got medical payments. The VA covers service connected issues only. So it's a stigma with it because people view you as if you're only 30% disabled. Oh, that's that's nothing. What the financial reality is, that payment barely covers medications and co-payments. Heck, in this day and age, it barely covers a car payment probably at that. Here's a scenario for you. Let's just say, for the sake of it, let's call him John. John served 8 years, got rated 30% for hearing loss and knee issues. He works a full time job as a mechanic, but here's his reality. He has hearing aids that he has to pay for, which is $2,500. He's got to buy knee braces, and he has to pay for physical therapy, which are all not covered because it wasn't service connected for him. Top of that, he's got all these other bills. I mean, he got to pay to live, obviously, right? So 30% veterans, they're basically caught between two worlds. Disabled enough to struggle, but not disabled enough for real support. This is probably where I would say veterans feel most invisible. Because the VA says you're disabled, your body says you're disabled, but society expects you to function like nothing happened, especially for those who have never served and know nothing about the pain that veterans feel. Let's go into next what I like to call the benefits cliff. That's that 50% disabled rating. At 50%, something changes. You cross a threshold that opens some doors but slams other doors shut. Hope that makes sense to you. The monthly payment here is obviously an increase. You're looking at about $1,075, so it's a significant jump from being 30%. So now you got that new benefits package unlocked. It's like new benefits, like a game, you know what I'm saying? So you got that dependent coverage. You got that property tax exemption in some states. You got that employment dilemma, though. That's the catch with it because it's like, do you work and risk losing benefits, or do you live on that $1,075 a month? It can also cause a strain on relationships. Like some people's spouse, they won't understand why that individual just can't get a better job, for example. And then they have that anxiety because every VA exam you could you could potentially drop. And since I mentioned from that 50 just now and in the beginning 30, you can potentially drop back down to that 30. She's used, who did I say in the beginning? John, let's just say a Mike for this case. So Mike gets bumped from 30% to 50% after fighting for 3 years. Because it seems like it's always a fight. Mike thought it would solve his problems, but instead, that $1,075 a month totals out to about 12,000 $900 a month. So take away from that is that this is where veterans start kind of making like life decisions based on the disability rating rather than the career goals. So this is a tier where the VA system starts affecting your entire life trajectory. You're not just managing, your disabilities, but you're managing a benefit system that punishes you for trying to improve. It's crazy, right? So let's go into what I like to call the employment trap. This is where you are at least 70% disabled. So you're under that 100%, but you're at least 70% disabled. You're facing that employment trap. So this is where most veterans get stuck. And it's not because you can't get higher, but because the system makes it terrifying to try. Monthly payment for a single veteran, it's about 1716, so $1,716. You get the priority group 1, which is a VA help for the VA healthcare, which is a significant benefit. But you got those golden handcuffs. Comfortable enough to survive, not enough to thrive. Ooh, that's a good one. Comfortable enough to survive, but not enough to thrive. Might have to quote that one on this one, but so you're facing that employment discrimination peak because if you're at least 70% disabled, why are you applying for this job? That's the way that they view it. And you're dealing with that 100% fear. If I push for 100%, what if they reduce me to 50% instead? Let's say random name, let's say Marcus, for example. Let's say he's at 70% and he's did, I don't know, let's throw 8 years. I believe it's 8 years previously. Let's throw 8 years out there. So he applied for increases twice and withdrawn both times. Here's why. Because it's that psychological trope, right? Feeling stuck between disability and ability. You have that social isolation. Too disabled to keep up with civilian friends, to functionality for disabled veteran groups. It's just that social isolation is there. It's strong. I mean, it's huge. It's like, you can only communicate with veterans, so to speak. Hope I explained that quite well for you. So 70% is often where veterans have the skills and desire to work, but face the worst employment discrimination while fearing benefit loss. So 70 to 90, that's what the experience is like at that percentage. So this is the tier where veterans will tell you they feel the most trapped. So you're disabled enough that it defines your life, but not disabled enough to stop fighting the system. All right, and here we go. The misconceptions. That's what I like to call the 100% disabled veteran. Everyone thinks 100% disabled is the finish line. But for many veterans, it's where a whole new set of challenges actually begins. The monthly payment, of course, is much higher. I believe it's around $3,700. But then you got that label on you, 100% disabled. That affects how family, friends, and employers see you. There's two types. You got your scheduler, which is can work, versus your individual unemployability, which is cannot work without losing benefits. Then there's that identity crisis. It's like, if I'm 100% disabled, who am I now? You also face that survivor's guilt. I got 100%, while my buddy who's worse off is stuck at 70 or somewhere, between 70 and 90, or sometimes even way less than that. So they have that as well. Let's give another scenario. So say David fought for 8 years. I keep using eight. So let's say he fought for 8 years, all right, to get that 100%. 3 months after he got it, he called the crisis line. Nobody warns you about this part. The financial reality. $3,700 disappears fast with ongoing medical costs, adaptive equipment, therapy. The employment paradox. Rated unemployable, but desperate for purpose and routine. See, this is the thing. 100% isn't freedom. It's a different kind of prison for many veterans. Again, 100% is not freedom. It's a different kind of prison for veterans. So this is the tier that everybody fights to reach. Every time anyone mentions they're under 100%, it's like, why you not 100%, man? Come on, man, you gotta get up to 100%. What you need? You need help. Like that's the fight that everybody fights for. And then you have the people where they'll tell you, yeah, I'm 100%, and then in reality they're not 100%. Everybody wants to be at 100%, you know. But the thing about it is, once you're at 100%, you realize that the the rating, it doesn't fix the problems that caused it. It just changes how you manage them. That's it. And that's with any rating on top of that too. I like to throw it doesn't fix your problems. It doesn't. So but with 100%, when you get there, it definitely doesn't fix it. It's just different how you manage it. So let's break this down in summary. 30% veterans file for increases if conditions get worse. Don't accept mild if you're not. Document everything. I don't know how many times I've told people, like, literally document everything and keep track of your medical records. Like, even if you have to do a daily symptoms log, keep track of that stuff and connect with the VSO, the Veteran Service Organization. They're free, literally free. 50%, I'll say understand the benefits cliff. Calculate if working is even worth losing your benefits. Explore vocational rehab programs. I believe it's chapter 31. So look into that. Build emergency funds. If you're one VA review away from 30%, like, don't give up. For 70%, I would say between that line, just don't let the fear stop you from filing for increases that you deserve. Because I mean, obviously, have injuries. We have injuries as well. So, and also research individual unemployability and consider part-time work or volunteer for a purpose without risk losing anything. Finally, for the 100%, just understand the scheduler versus the individual unemployability. Know your employment rights. Build support networks, because isolation is it's not a. And that's for, I need to say that for all percentages. Isolation is really not it. And honestly, I want to talk, but I mean, it is what it is. Shouldn't say that neither, but I'm trying at the end of the day. Financial planning is critical. I think this income it needs to last. Definitely needs to last. So overall, the percentage, it doesn't matter as much as you think. Whether you're at 30, whether you're at 50, whether you're at 70, whether you're at 100, you're dealing with the same broken system, the same identity struggles, the same fight to be seen as both disabled and capable. The rating is just a number. Like, you're worth more than that. So if you going through this at any level, drop your rating, your real rating. You know what I talked about earlier. Drop your real rating and your biggest struggle in the comments. Let's build the community that the VA should have given us. And if this helps you understand a bit more about it, share it. Somebody else might understand, also might help the next person out. This is if it's helping you. Because the truth is, we all in the same fight, y'all. It's just at a different percentage. So again, go ahead and drop your rating down below, like, share. Y'all know what it is. Until next time, see y'all later.